is the most complex, high-tech system in the world on our roads, in the sky, and on the paths to our front doors. Logistics has quietly become one of the most advanced AI-driven industries on the planet. But how do global supply chains actually work? How do you move $2 trillion worth of goods across 220 countries every year and do it faster, smarter, and more sustainably? Are AI, digital twins, and predictive analytics reshaping supply chains? Is agility now beating scale? And is Asia rewriting the global trade map? Kawal, Preet, President APAC at FedEx, is joining us to unpack the real story behind modern logistics. And before we get to that, let's have a quick word from our sponsor. Before we jump in, let's thank the sponsor of this episode, Dr. Tech. Dr. Tech can help you build your e-commerce store and start selling quickly online and on social media in just a few days. And Dr. Tech stores are gorgeous, modern, and responsive. They are fully customizable and simple to use. Dr. Tech stores have hundreds of included optimizations that will help you sell more online, and a support team that can answer all of your questions. With Dr. Tech, there are no hidden costs, no commissions on sales, no add-ons to buy. Everything is included in one simple subscription. So go to hello.tech/ATP to get a free trial and start building your store. You can find the link in the description below. Also, Dr. Tech is offering a special deal to the listeners of the Asia Tech podcast. After your free trial, you can get your first full month for only $1. To get this deal, simply type ATP into the live chat and they will send you a special promo code. Thanks again to Dr. Tech for sponsoring, and now let's get back to the show. Because you brought up the complexities of logistics and supply chains as an engineering problem, maybe you can talk a little bit more about how complex these systems are and how you use your engineering background, or have used it over the last 20-something years to solve some of these really complex problems.
Fantastic. And I can go on for hours with this.
Please do.
So first, if you look at supply chain, right? I mean, this is literally a chain of various sub-processes that are needed to start from, sourcing something to delivering to the end customer, to including returns. In between, you can have planning and designing and manufacturing. So as FedEx, as one of the leading industry players, we pioneered this industry more than 50 years ago. And we help connect global trade across 220 countries and territories, moving $2 trillion worth of goods every year. And that's 99% of the global GDP. So think about it, 3 million shippers and connecting to 255 million recipients worldwide. So just the scale of what we do is incredible, but this is constant motion and the energy that we are optimizing, right? So it's the flow of goods, and it's not just the physical network. So we have our own airplanes. As you know, we are an airline, cargo airline with 600 planes globally. But what it means is an air network that is connecting, it's operating on time, is moving goods from every part of the world. And at the same time, you have our on-the-ground pickup and delivery networks, which is the vans and trucks that you see commonly in Thailand and all across Asia, in the US and the globe. And that network has to operate in sync. So one is optimizing that network to make sure it's delivering on the outstanding service, the delivery promise, what we called our purple promise to our customers every day, consistently. And at the same time, we are also able to provide the best optimized working environment for our employees. So it's making sure we run an efficient operations for our team members and an efficient outcome for our customers. And all of this to be done sustainably using the digital tools. So really, it isn't about just networks. It's our vision is to make supply chains smarter and more accessible for everyone. So that's the network.
I want to go back to one other thing you said, because I think there's a third network there, and you kind of hinted at this, and that's the people that work there and the culture that's been built there. Can you talk to me about how, as a leadership team, you inculcate the firm with this culture that you talked about before? Because the people matter. All of these things are very complex. All of these systems are complex, but the people may be the most complex aspect of this, and managing them is probably harder than managing an airplane, yeah?
You are absolutely right, Michael. So firstly, this is a service industry. and it's a high human touch industry. Our people are the face of our brand, and as I mentioned earlier, we have a very unique culture that our chairman and founder Fred Smith, he started what we call the people service profit philosophy. So we invest in our people, we create the best environment for our people to succeed, they then deliver the best service for our customers, and then we generate the profits that we reinvest in our people. So it's a wheel, the people service profit. That's the philosophy over which everything is based upon. Whether it's our culture around, how we care for each other, how we come together to drive results. Our culture values are about, creating what's next, owning outstanding, which is about delivering the best service to our customers. So it is service from the heart. And I have to say, we have the best team members. And there are so many examples of our people being true heroes every day, whether it is delivering a life-saving medicine to a customer in the need most, or delivering a wedding dress that a bride needed urgently. It's amazing to be in this industry and see what people spirit drives this company. And at the same time, I mean, while COVID feels like many years ago, it's during that time we became the essential workers, the industry that truly was keeping the world moving. Whether it was PPEs, whether it was medicines, life-saving drugs, relief supplies during disasters, all of that is a part of this network. So it's I shared with you the engineering side of it, but there's a lot of hearts and minds that deliver what comes out of this network every day.
So it doesn't work unless the last mile works, right? And even when I was a little kid, I still remember the FedEx guys and gals coming to the door with packages. So there's something there that's indelible. I want to talk a little bit more about business, if that's okay. How would you describe FedEx as the value prop, right, for everybody that uses it, and the business model as well?
Sure. So think of anything from a small parcel to a large pallet of freight. FedEx is a one stop shop for reliable global delivery and smart digital solutions that help our customers to drive growth and streamline their supply chains. Now, not to mention, we also move pandas, giant pandas, into China and to the US every now and then. And it's not just parcels and freight. We've also moved prototypes of vehicles, on our planes. So we basically can move everything that you can think of going on our airplanes. And we pioneered the express transportation industry more than 50 years ago, and we remain an industry leader. Our customers choose us for our superior value proposition that is enabled by the outstanding service, the speed, and the global coverage.
The thing is, you keep talking about all these deliveries and stuff like that, but you did also talk about sustainability and resilience. And I'm just curious, you can't do it alone, right? So what strategies should businesses be using to ensure resilience, particularly as we move into this future where that's going to become more and more important?
Absolutely. So why don't I finish the value proposition conversation first, right? Because that flows into the resilience aspect of it, right? So we talked about the network that we operate, and what we are building is the world's most flexible, efficient, and intelligent network. And I'd like you to really remember these three things. So flexible, efficient, and intelligent. And let me unpack it for you. So right now, when I look at the three interconnected themes that set us apart, so efficiency. Efficiency is through a very streamlined and simplified network, whether it's air or ground, and we streamline every link in the supply chain. And that's through our integrated networks. So whether it's our own decision making, which means what is the sequence of stops in which a courier would deliver the packages, how do we plan our routes on the ground that optimizes speed as well as efficiency and the time taken to deliver your goods, resource planning, how we are staffing, or customs clearance, which is cross-border clearance, as you would understand. Now, that's for us internally. But then for our customers, we also have advanced tools like FedEx Ship Manager that truly automate everything for them, from creating a shipment to printing the labels to shipping to tracking packages through billing. So, an efficient and reliable network that drives efficiency and creates smart solutions for our businesses. The second piece is flexibility. So, flexibility with agile supply chains. And here we have a robust portfolio that is rooted in a deep understanding of customers' evolving needs. So, whether it's supply chain reconfiguration or different product types, or whether it's fast or slow, that's all within our robust portfolio. So we offer priority options, we offer deferred options, we offer concierge service for complex shipments, specialized services. We handle dangerous goods like lithium batteries, and we offer more last minute rates as well in case customers have ad hoc needs. So solutions that are tailored to provide that flexibility to our customers, small, medium, large. And lastly is the intelligence. Now, this is where we are empowering customers with advanced data driven insights so they can make better decisions for their business and for the world. This is where sustainability comes in as well. So, we are leveraging real time data because if you look at our network, our global network, we move 17 million packages a day. Each package gets a scan at least a dozen times throughout its journey, depending on where it's going. So imagine all that data that we have, and we are able to harness that data real time. And we have tools like FedEx Surround and Internet of Things tools like SenseAware ID. This allows us to deliver precision logistics solutions where customers have comprehensive visibility into their shipments real time moving through our network. It's not just monitoring, we can also do intervention throughout the journey of the shipment. And then how we integrate these tools with our customers' systems. So the API integration that enhances visibility, enhances the fulfillment solution. And lastly, the sustainability insights, the FedEx sustainability insights is another example of a tool that we provide to our customers that estimates carbon dioxide emissions at both package and customer account level. And this is the tool that leverages our scans across the data to provide reports on, this is what you ship, this is the emission. So customers can also make informed decisions. So again, basically summing it up, efficiency, flexibility, and intelligence is the three themes that we are using to drive the logistics transformation and converting it into a competitive edge for our customers to really thrive in what's going on in the world.
It's just fascinating to me. It's so interesting to me. Can I ask you this as well? You said it's this never stopping platform, right? Whether it's the people that are moving stuff, whether it's the ground fleet that's moving stuff, the airplanes are always flying. There's always somebody in a FedEx office somewhere, right? It's always evolving, which is kind of cool, right? Because it's always open somewhere in the world. And the tech is always changing too. What role do you see emerging technologies? Everyone's talking about artificial intelligence and generative AI, but from an optimization standpoint alone, I'm sure you must be using a ton of artificial intelligence, and you can run through that as well. But where do you see emerging technology as a thing fitting into all of these things that you're doing?
This space is incredibly fascinating as well as happening. I must say, as you said, it's emerging so fast.
It is.
And technology is disrupting and transforming every part of the business around us, not just our business, but our customers' business as well.
Right.
And as I mentioned earlier, our mission is to make supply chains smarter for everyone. So we are investing heavily in AI-based applications to run and change our own business. So this comes across in customer interactions, in our call centers, in our operations planning environment, where we are looking at how we plan our air network. What are the routes to fly? What's the most efficient, scheduling of our crew members, of our airplanes, of our last mile delivery couriers, whether it is stop sequencing, whether it is scheduling, whether it is providing responses to our own employees through Ask HR. There is immense application of AI already in place in our current business. And then we have spaces like customs clearance, where we are using the data to actually, A, assist the customers in understanding the regulatory landscape, and two, also making sure that there is a digital way of transforming our processes. So eliminating paper and making it much more efficient, and all throughout this delivering the best customer experience that FedEx stands for. So that's the first bucket, right? Which is how we are doing it within our business. But the second bucket is the most important one, which is how we are helping to digitize our customer supply chains. So this is where I talked about earlier, how we provide better visibility and predictability. So we have recently launched what we call the FedEx platform. It's a digital platform for commerce, and it provides end-to-end visibility. It allows customers to integrate with the platform. I mentioned FedEx Surround. We also have what we call compatible solution providers. So this is for really small and medium e-tailers who want to connect to platforms like Mabang and Ping Pong, and that's where FedEx is integrated as well. So that is happening for a customer's front. But then at the same time, we are harnessing the power of machine learning, using all that immense wealth of data that we have, so we can provide estimated delivery day, estimated delivery time window to our customers, providing that immense predictability in that supply chain. So that's the kind of lay of the land on where this emerging technology application is happening right now in our business.
When I joined Morgan Stanley in 1987, I just dated myself. I had a 10 key on my desk. You probably don't even know what a 10 key is. Maybe you do. And it had paper coming out the back. And that's kind of how I did math at my desk when I first joined Morgan Stanley. By the time I left, I was running some of the most powerful computers I've ever run. I was running them on a mobile phone. I had an iPad, and just everything had changed. Are you sometimes, and the efficiency that we built in and the productivity that we built in because of all this new technology, we always saw P&L spikes, frankly, on the trading desk every time we installed a new piece of technology that had a real substantive difference on how we did business. Do you see the same things as well? And what I mean is not just from an efficiency standpoint, meaning it costs less money to do it, but that you can do more with the same amount of resources. Does that make sense?
Absolutely. It absolutely does, Michael. And, I will date myself as well. When I joined this company, we had mainframe systems, right? So it used to be green, and here we are here we are with basically embedding AI and machine learning in our interactions with our customers. So it absolutely does, because what we are able to do is we're able to eliminate those manual routine tasks, and then at the same time we are able to change the way we work, change the way we deliver. And this is truly showing in this significant transformation that we talk about, and you would have heard our CEO talk about it. So 2 years ago, we embarked on the most significant transformation in the history of our company, and the results we've accomplished are absolutely incredible. We are talking about being able to drop billions of dollars to a bottom line, because we are using the power of data first approach, digital first thinking in every process across the entire industry. So within our business, making ourselves more efficient, working with our customers, making our customers more efficient, and then coming up with solutions that are truly just digital solutions. It has nothing to do with transportation, but being able to give those to our customers. So end to end, we are able to produce just remarkable amount of upside for our team members by making them more successful in what they do, and also for our customers. And to give you an example, we touched on the complexity of this network. It's 220 countries, a portfolio of several products that have different service commitments, more than 500,000 employees across the globe, and hundreds of planes and thousands vehicles on the ground. So what we are able to use the technology for is we now have a digital twin of our network.
Do you really?
In the past, yeah, in the past, when we had to do scenario planning, or we had to do, what if scenarios of, well, I would like to launch a flight from point A to point B, what would happen? How would the rest of the network change? It used to take us weeks or months to be able to plan everything. But now we are talking about a much shorter planning timeline, much shorter execution timeline, and we're able to make those scenario changes so quickly because we can use technology in that digital twin network.
Yeah, the digital twin just gives you an incredible power to iterate and to change and to test things that you could never do on the ground, at least not in the same amount of time. I've been in Southeast Asia long enough to remember when there was no big e-commerce players. I don't need to name them. We all know who they are, right? But in the 12 years since they've really been introduced, almost 13 now because we're in 2025, how has what FedEx has been doing changed to support the growth of e-commerce and frankly, e-commerce in cross-border commerce, which you kind of mentioned as well? How has that worked?
So e-commerce is a big phenomenon that has profoundly changed the industry and the world, I would say. And in the APAC region, it is projected to reach a staggering $7 trillion by 2030. So the demand for efficient, reliable, and cost effective shipping solutions is skyrocketing. So for us, how we approach this is we have been actively partnering with local businesses to provide leading e-commerce solutions, enhancing real-time delivery tracking to customs clearance so SMEs can pivot and scale. Because I think e-commerce, I mean, every business is now kind of e-commerce, right? It's global commerce essentially. So as a result of that, I think while the large businesses pivoted quickly, you also have a small player. I mean, we've got so many examples of a small footwear designer in Malaysia that is able to sell to the globe using our services, or a similar example, somebody in South Africa being able to reach the globe because the pandemic impacted their retail store. So that's what e-commerce is doing. But how are we then helping our customers? So shoppers increasingly expect fast and flexible shipping options. So we've got e-commerce solutions like a FedEx International Connect Plus that offers the most cost-effective shipping within the region in Asia, from Asia to US and Asia to Europe, that goes 1 to 3 business days. And we've also enhanced our Ship Manager platform, the FedEx Ship Manager platform that allows e-tailers to really do everything digitally. 99% of our shipments are purely automated. So create shipments, the paperwork is online, everything is done online, save time, boosting efficiency. Because some of these small e-commerce players, we need to give them peace of mind. They don't really need printers and a logistics manager to do it. So that's where we become their logistics provider for end-to-end solutions. Now, I mentioned a little bit about how we support 50 compatible and alliance programs across the region that are able to connect our services with these retailers who want affordable shipping solutions, right? So flexible shipping, comprehensive solutions that are seamless, provide peace of mind and delight not just the shipper but also the end consumer, because that's where the whole value proposition lies. Coming to the end consumer, the second important piece of this is personalization and convenience. So this is where e-commerce has been winning, because personalization is all about understanding and accommodating the preferences of your single consumer and how they change their minds, right? So think about a delivery process. I'm sure you also order things online. So when somebody delivers to your doorstep, what we offer is a picture proof of delivery. So there's peace of mind. So when we drop a package and you're not at home, we're able to take a picture of it and send it to you. At the same time, if you want to collect that shipment at a delivery parcel locker that is near your office or wherever you are, we have a network of 260,000 parcel lockers across Asia Pacific. So again, providing customers with various flexible options using how the customers want to reach us, whether it's WhatsApp in Southeast Asia or WeChat in China or Line in Korea. We have the ways to interact with the last basically the end consumer, and give them options to also take convenient features that suit them using our FedEx Delivery Manager, for example. So that's an example of how we are playing a role in e-commerce and making it easy for our shippers and our end consumers.
Does FedEx do anything in the startup world at all? Does it run an incubator program? Does it invest in startups? Does it look to startups for any innovations? Maybe you can talk me through a little bit of that as well, because with all of this technological innovation going on, I always say nobody succeeds alone. And while there's an incredible network internally, there's all this innovation happening externally. How do you handle that stuff as well?
So the answer is absolutely. We have a huge array of strategic partnerships and collaborations across the globe. And to give you an example, a few years ago, we set up what we call the FedEx Innovation Lab. And the goal or the objective of FIL is to invest and collaborate with rising digital startups that are in the space of logistics and supply chain, and how they can complement the portfolio that we have, and at the same time, solve the problems that the customers have. So to give you an example, we invested in a circular supply chain solutions provider called Flowship, which basically provides FedEx e-commerce customers access to their network of warehouses and logistics platform capabilities to really streamline e-commerce fulfillment. So you're absolutely right. Partnerships that are strategic and that are complementary to our portfolio is something that we are actively playing in.
What does the future look like to you in logistics and supply chain management? I mean, because to me, Asia Pacific has to be the most interesting place to be running this business. I know the US is big, I know Europe is big and stuff like that. Africa obviously is amazing. But I think we're hitting a sweet spot in Asia in particular. I mean, in Asia in general, but in Southeast Asia in particular, where it's not yet, it's not greenfields anymore. But boy, the growth should still continue to accelerate. What does the future look like to you?
The future is extremely exciting and bright. I mean, just look at Asia Pacific. We are the manufacturing powerhouse of the world. And I just mentioned the e-commerce growth that is supposed to reach $7 trillion.
Right, it's huge.
So Asia Pacific, I believe, is the best place to be. To really watch the trade flow patterns. And now I'll maybe touch on a few themes that are emerging in the world of trade, and then talk about so and then talk about where I see opportunities or where we are going right now in our world to actually create further opportunities for our customers. So what I'm seeing right now is clearly with the growth in e-commerce, it is reshaping the global trade, right? So firstly, how we are tackling that is by providing our customers with the portfolio offerings that go from the kind of product you need to the digital services you need, whether it is connecting with the compatibles or fulfillment services, but basically looking at how we can provide the most cost effective solution to customers in the space of e-commerce, right? Because last mile delivery is the biggest cost driver in e-commerce logistics. The second piece is really about digital transformation. That is revolutionizing every industry, and AI is transforming critical areas for us, like call centers, customs clearance, customer facing tools, and it's driving growth in new industries. So the opportunity here for us, if you look at it, so look at semiconductors, right? That's the foundation of all the growth in AI that we are seeing. And that also means that there is also a significant demand for those AI chips that are also coming out of Asia, right? So that demand is supposed to skyrocket from $15 billion, a few years ago to 10x by 2030. So that is a 30% growth annually, and semiconductor trade flows or semiconductor goods movements requires precision logistics, and that's where again, using our portfolio, we are able to provide the needs, fulfill the needs of our customers in that space. But then at the same time, we are also embedding AI into our physical locations. So whether it is a AI based sorting robot, or it is our new digital FDX platform. I mean, that's where AI plays a big role for us. And basically, it is helping supply chain efficiency enhancement by up to 20%, reducing logistics costs, and improving the speed and accuracy. The third thing that I believe is going to be shaping our space significantly, sustainability is at the heart of the long-term strategy, while
Yeah.
driving growth and minimizing our emission footprint. So At FedEx, we have set a bold ambition to achieve carbon neutral operations by 2040. It is built on a very simple yet powerful framework, which is decarbonize, co create, and neutralize. So, reducing emissions, replacing older technologies with efficient ones, revolutionizing operations with new technologies. And then we're also working with, you talked about partnerships. We've also invested $100 million. We've pledged $100 million with Yale School of Natural Carbon Capture to basically advance the technologies in carbon sequestration. So sustainability is embedded into every aspect of our business. But now let me also touch on Asia Pacific and what exactly is going on with some of the trade flows.
Go for it.
So there are a couple themes that are emerging. So number one is agility of supply chains. Supply chains have, if you look at the history, supply chains have evolved over time. And conventional supply chains have been turned on their heads in the past history as well as in the recent years multiple times over. The drivers have been the pandemic, whether it's the economic slowdown, whether it was demographics, cost of labor, geopolitics, and demands for sustainability. So there's several factors that affect how supply chains evolve and reconfigure. With the development of technology and AI, that is also baked into the customer's planning, modeling, and response time. So, in the past, you used to see very thick pipes manufactured in one place and then shipped to the whole world because it was easier to optimize it that way. But now, the one theme that is emerging is that agile supply chains are multi-dimensional, multi-country.
Interesting.
And that is possible because you can support it using the advanced technology tools to model, right? So resilience is the key word, and the more elasticity that businesses and companies like us build into our supply chains or our businesses, the better we can withstand any change in our external environment and we can respond and recover quickly. So that's really, this is where intense scenario planning, planning for gray swans and the silver linings at the same time. And this is where tech plays a big part. And the second important thing, and I'd really like to touch on this, which is truly what fascinates me about Asia Pacific and the opportunity we see. So it's understanding the emerging trade flow patterns. So China remains a factory of the world, right? I mean, with what almost 30% of the global production happening in China.
Right.
So we operate 300 weekly flights in and out of China. Our Asia Pacific hub is based in China. And last year, we expanded our network capabilities and connected Qingdao and Xiamen, the two inner cities, into our Purple Tail network. So that's what is happening in China. But what we're also seeing is that China to Southeast Asia, China to India trade is growing rapidly, and new growth corridors are emerging across Southeast Asia.
Yeah.
So, Southeast Asia is also benefiting from multilateral free trade agreements like CPTPP and RCEP. And I'm sure you see it since you're based in Thailand. The Eastern Economic Corridor is attracting automotive investments. That's growing. Kuching in Malaysia is seeing growth in electronics and semiconductor manufacturing. Singapore, there is a great amount of activity in the healthcare space. So as we see this, we have been trying to stay a step ahead of these patterns that are emerging. So um, late last year, we launched a flight that connects Guangzhou, our Asia Pacific hub, to Bangalore because we're seeing increasing manufacturing activity in southern India. We already have a flight that goes from Guangzhou to Delhi. So this flight goes from Guangzhou to Bangalore and then connects to Middle East and over to Europe because the other trend we're seeing is that Asia to Europe is 21% of the air cargo network is the Asia to Europe flows. Then, when I look at Southeast Asia, we've recently enhanced our services inbound into Indonesia, into Johor Bahru, and we also launched a flight coming out of Vietnam. Vietnam is is seeing incredible growth in terms of year over year. It's like three times that of China year over year growth. And we have connected Vietnam, which is Ho Chi Minh City, to our hub in Guangzhou that allows us to actually provide a 24-hour reduction in the transit times for customers out of Vietnam to Asia and Europe. So that's the action-packed Asia Pacific
Wow.
summary for you.
Wow. I don't know what to say. I'm going to thank you for doing this. Kawal Preet, the president of APAC at FedEx. You were amazing at this, by the way. You should do way more of these things because I think there is a complexity and a nuance inside of all of this logistics and supply chain stuff that people don't understand. They don't see. All they see is, again, the guy and gal coming to their front door and maybe clicking on something. But what's happening in the back is so sort of mathematically and engineering wise so interesting. I'm sure you feel like when you started 20 something years ago, look, who knew how long it was going to last? But all these years on, it seems like it's the best time to be in logistics, no?
Absolutely. I mean, supply chains have now become a boardroom conversation.
Exactly,
So,
exactly.
so absolutely. I mean, look, the best part is that there is so much learning and growth that happens every day. And, it's the service to our customers that truly is a big value for us. And it's all about our purple promise.
Super duper. Thank you again so much for doing this.
Thank you, Michael, for having me today, and you have a great day.